What's good everyone, it's your boy JP Official back with another video, and in today's video, which is slightly a bit more different because I don't normally do these, but today I will be giving you guys a story time behind what happened, or should I say what nearly happened to my black Air Force Ones. Had very lucky near miss with these shoes. You know what, maybe I'll give you a story time to my near miss with ruining these brand new Air Forces. But before we do get into this video guys, as always, make sure to go like, comment, and of course if you are new around here and this is the first time you've watched my channel, please go down and subscribe. Would be very much appreciated. We're currently on 120 subscribers, just off the top of my head as I'm recording this at the time. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. Anyway, moving on to Boxing Day now. So get up the next morning, you know, thought to myself, have a little lie in. Ended up getting myself ready because Nan wanted to be dropped off home. Got to Nan's, dropped everything off, looked at the time and I thought, okay, it's about 11:30. After that, I left hers and came back here to my mum's. Then get home about lunchtime, between 12:30, 1:30ish. And at that point, I'm starting to feel hungry. So, normally on a Boxing Day, I'm sure the majority of people do this on a Boxing Day, which is you would have your leftover meal from Christmas. Gone into the kitchen now, I've got myself a plate, started helping myself to all the food that was there. Anyway, ended up warming up my food about more than twice, at least like 2-3 times, just to make sure that all the potatoes and everything was warm and cooked through properly. On the day of Boxing Day, football was on at the time, so I had the Palace game on in the background and was just thinking to myself like, who could I bring down with me to the pub? Because I wanted to go watch Arsenal versus West Ham. I thought to myself, yes, I know exactly who to call. So, got on the phone, rung up my boy Elijah. So he answered and I was just like to him, like, what are you doing later on tonight? Obviously, as you know, Arsenal playing West Ham tonight. So he was like, I'm literally doing nothing at all. So we both agreed that we'd meet up. I wore my Gravy Mackenzie tracksuit with my black Air Force Ones. Now, I don't know about you, but with me, right, when I put these on, they felt great. But as I stepped out of the house, I realised that I walk a little bit slower in these, only because I just don't want to crease them. Comment below if you think that when wearing Air Force Ones, especially a fresh pair, like it makes you walk a little bit slower than your usual average walking pace. So I'm walking up now to Finsbury Park. I'm going to go meet my mate Elijah. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, tonight should be really good vibes. He rings me up and says, look, Jay, is it all right if we can get food on the way to the pub? Because obviously the pub that we were going to doesn't serve food. And he was like, yeah, like, why don't we just hit up Morley's? Because we've been meaning to go to Morley's for a while, but we just never had the time to go. We're walking up to the pub now, but before we go to the pub, we stop off at Morley's. So he asks if I want anything, and I just said to him, like, no, I'm all good. Like, I wasn't feeling hungry at the time. He ordered 4 wings and chips with a strawberry Mirinda. He's like to me, Jay, like, why don't you try a wing? Because I know you've been meaning to try their hot wings. We've gone into like chicken connoisseur mode now. So we're just there eating the chicken and like, I'm asking him for like his rating on the chicken. I think at the time he gave it like a 4, I think, or 4 or 5, I think. I can't remember. And then he was like to me, what'd you rate it, bro? And I'm like, I keep quiet. For many reasons, because firstly, I didn't want to give my rating in front of the boss man that was standing behind the till, and secondly, like with a hot wing, I know I'm not into my spice, but I do like a hot wing that has got a slight kick to it, and I realised that Morley's in Finsbury Park, your hot wings are not hot. They are just wings. No Scoville units, nothing that will tickle or kick the back of my throat. We've come out the chicken shop. I give him my honest opinion. I said to him, listen, if I'm honest with you, I'll probably give it like a 3 or a 4. I did say to him, I think a big part of that played due to the fact that there was not heat. There was no heat in the actual wings. We get into the pub, so sat down and then got ourselves a drink. I got myself a soft drink. I didn't want nothing like alcoholic. I think Elijah got himself Coke or something like that. So anyway, we were just sitting there, we were talking, and then after that, the game kicks off. In the end, it was a good game between Arsenal and West Ham. West Ham took the lead through Benrahma. Arsenal came back, and then towards the end of the game, my mate was like, all right, cool, Jay, I'm gonna go now. Like, I'm gonna head off home now because it was starting to get late. He left me in the pub, and then 5 minutes or about 10 minutes after he left, my stomach started to feel a little bit funny. So at that point, I thought to myself, all right, cool. You know what? Let me just leave the pub now, because if I stay here any longer, I feel like I'm going to get worse. As I'm walking down Blackstock Road now, I'm not starting to feel great. And I just want to get home and just relax. I got to the bus stop and then I see Elijah there. So Elijah was like to me, bro, are you all right? Like, you don't look too well. And I was like, yeah, like, I'm all right, man. Like, I'm all good. Like, he was like, are you sure, bro? Because you don't look great. I was like, yeah, man, I'm all right. You know the moment where you want to throw up, but you can't? That was literally me in that situation. And then the worst happens to me. I'm literally like this against the bus stop, and I end up throwing up at the bus stop. It's the worst feeling. The worst feeling of all was that I was throwing up and I had these on. At the point, I wasn't even thinking about my Air Forces. I've thrown up like maybe a good 3-4 times. So then he's like to me, bro, let me get you a bottle of water or something, because like, now that you've got it out your system, it's better you have something to drink. And I was like to him, nah, mate, no, I just want to get home. So we've got to the next bus stop now, and Elijah's like to me, are you going to be all right to walk the rest of the way home? And I'm like, yeah, like, I'll be all right. But I said to him, like, I'll wait for his bus to come. And he was like, nah, bro, get yourself home. Make sure you rest up. 5 minutes before I get home, I've thrown up again. And at this point, I'm feeling worse. I was feeling so hot and weak. Eventually, I managed to get myself home. By the time I got home, I literally like fell onto my bed. And at that point, I was like, I was so weak that I just didn't move. After like a good 20 minutes of me laying on the bed, I then eventually forced myself to like get up and get into my pajamas, and then I get into bed.
The next day,
Mum comes into my room and like she starts asking me like, oh, what did you have to eat? And like I told her, like, for lunch I had the leftover dinner and then like just before coming to the pub I had a chicken wing. So she reckons that it might have been from Morley's. But for me, the one thing that just doesn't add up to me, right, was when I got home, the first thing I did was panic and looked at these. I looked at my Air Forces. I was like, oh no, if there's any sick on them, I'm actually, like, I don't know what to do. And you know what? To my surprise, I got home. When I'd got home, I saw that there was no sick on them. Like, even like on the whites of the shoes, like there was nothing on them. At the same time, I'm so grateful I didn't get anything on them, because imagine just buying a new pair of Air Forces and then having to like ruin them the following day after. I was stuck in bed for about 2-3 days, having like medicine and like just trying to drink lots just to keep me hydrated. I didn't eat during the time I was ill. I couldn't go to work. Them 3 days for me were an absolute nightmare. Now, the one lesson I have learned from being bedbound for the last 3 days is that I will not, and I literally do mean this, I will not be going to another chicken shop ever again. I will not go and order chicken and chips from, or wings and chips from a chicken shop again. Like, the only place that I would go to, obviously, would be like KFC, Popeyes, Slim's Chicken, like anywhere that is like a popular fast food restaurant. Just putting it out there. But personally, if you are around the Finsbury Park area, whatever you do, there are plenty of chicken shops to go to. I'm very sure about that. But the one place I would not be going to, or I wouldn't suggest people going to, is Morley's. Only because when I went at the time, I didn't have a good experience there. But weirdly enough, with Elijah, he was all right. He didn't feel ill or anything like that. So I don't know. But me personally, I would not be going to another chicken shop again. Anyway, guys, I'm going to round off this story time here. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to go and like and comment. If you are also new around here, make sure to go subscribe. As always, guys, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. If you enjoyed this story time, please leave a comment below. Let me know if you want to see more story times like this. And in the meantime, I'll catch you guys in the next video.